Alright, Mark, this is just for quick demonstration, no video purposes ever. Anyways, so I was out and I had some really cool magnets, like these. These are pretty heavy ones, neodymium. You put one on the back of your hand, it forces together. If you turn it the other way, it's like you can't put it together. But if it flips and they go towards each other, they shatter into a million pieces. So you have to keep them away from each other. Ask me how I know. Okay, second is, I was on a field trip down to Dinosaur, wherever in Vernal, with my 8-year-old daughter, and I needed a vacation. So I went down to the beach, and I was looking at all sorts of rocks and different things, and then I took one of these magnets with me because I wanted to throw it in the river and see what happened. So on the way down there, I saw an ant pile, put it on top of it, and it picked up a bunch of stuff. And then I was like, well, that's cool. Those are big pieces, so I kept those. And then I went down further to the beach, and I dropped it in the sand, and when I picked it up, it had, as you can see here, a bunch of this. The sand was sticking to it, and I was like, what the heck? How's it sticking to it? And so I started collecting it. And I had a fairly good idea of what it was. And so I just started collecting more and more, and get a close up here, you can just kind of see how it collects, and it leaves the sand on my hand. And so I collected a couple pounds of it. And earlier I played with ferrofluid, which is this kind of stuff. You can put it's just oil and basically magnetite, something in there. And so it looks really cool, but I don't have a glass thing. I left that at home. But I do have this. So anyways, this is hematite, which is a Moki ball, and it's not magnetic, but it is part of, you mix this and this, and that makes iron. But hematite, I guess, I didn't know if it was dangerous or not. And it isn't, because it's in pretty much all the sands all over the United States and everywhere, and they use it for filters to filter water. So I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna die. But I didn't, so that's good. Anyways, so I collected a ton. I started putting it all over the sand, and sometimes I'd only get a little bit more. The darker the sand, the better. And the fun thing is, you get something like this, and you can see how it picks it up, and it just changes it like that. And you can see how much it'll pick up. And then you can put it on the other end. You can roll it in there. And did you see all that? It got pretty much everything and only left the sand. So right now, it's like you can see which sides. This is kind of the neutral side, where it kind of forms up like that, but this side's the side where it stands up and does that. And then if you have another one to it, well, first of all, this is hematite too. Sometimes they're meteorites. A lot of things have, like this doesn't have anything in it, but this right here, it's magnetic, so it does have some hematite in it. And then what I did is I also went down to the river a little bit closer, because the sand was going into the river, and I saw a bunch of these black specks, so I just put it on top of them in the river, and it just started picking them up like you just saw. Now if you take it off, it's just sand. And so it's kind of fun, it's fluffy, and one of the easiest messes to clean up. But when I went down to the water, put the metal in the water, or put the magnet in the water, and it started picking up some, and then I started, playing in the mud and the sand in the water and stirring it up a lot, and then I just put the magnet through it, and all of a sudden my magnet was full of more of the magnetite. Now magnetite and hematite make, iron. Magnetite's like Fe for iron, 3O, oxygen 4, then hematite's Fe2O3, something like that. So hematite is kind of more of a rust. So if you had some of those hematite things look like this silverly that you buy at the store, they're magnets, you do a scratch test on it, and it'll actually scratch orange or rust, even though it's silver, so it's weird. But anyways, this is hematite, and this iron is hematite is 73% iron. Anyways, yeah, I go on too long, so sorry about that. I'm one of those, introverts that wants to tell you how in the heck the universe was made and how the book was made to describe the information on how they found the information about the hematite. Needless to say, it was fun. So I collected a ton. The stuff that I got out of the mud came like this. And it was, I mean, this is still wet still, but it was really, it was a lot finer than the one that I got on the beach. The ones on the beach were a little bit bigger. The ones in the mud were a lot finer particles. Now, when you get two together like that, there's such a pain to get apart, and that's why. The nice thing is if you have hematite on them, then they don't as much, because now they can come together and they can take them apart really well. But watch what happens when they take them apart there. These things start to go together, but makes cool stuff. Now, if you go the opposite way, watch what happens to it. Look at some of the opposite way. Ooh, they push apart, and you can't even put them together. Change polarity, and they suck together and apart. They don't. So that brings us to a couple other factors. I mean, it's fun to take one of these and just, ooh, it's like a bowling ball. But then again, on the cleaning up of it, yeah, I'm probably boring you to death. I'm almost done here. So I spilled some there, so just take some like this. It's just easy cleanup, as you see, and it tracks everything. The other fun one real quick is, well, I bought a bigger magnet, and it's, I don't know how much this is. That's probably like 40 or 50 pounds, and I got that magnet, and I can't seem to get it off of it. So, we'll work on that later. But I put some of the stuff from the mud that I got into the water here. You can kind of see how it all goes to the bottom. When you shake it up, it comes muddy like that. But when you grab it before it all goes down, you can kind of see it grabs on the end there. And so I would just shake up the muddy water and put it in there, and it would collect all. I mean, it collect all in here. Then I just put it off into there. Now, when I do that, I can actually just pour everything off, except, as you can see, the hematite, which is kind of in a, that mode. But as soon as I let it go, it turns to mud. So, and just to give you a good idea of what it looks like when it's mud is, you get some, put it in here, and it picks it all up, right? And it's just like it is on land in the air. But you take it off like this, and all of a sudden it's mud. But then it picks up really easy. So, and then, so it's like one of the nicest messes to clean up, because you can see how quick it did. But then if you still have some on your hands, just put it in the water. Then you just put the magnet in the water, and it gets all of your hematite back. Okay. So then you add hematite. Or not hematite, sorry, that's magnetite. I'm really messing up on this. So the magnetite also, if you mix it with iron, so 8 parts per weight iron, 3 parts aluminum powder, which is 400 mesh-ish, which is really, really fine powder, almost like painter's powder or firework powder. And if you go on the other scale, there's another scale that does like, so like 400 is how many of these dots can you get in an inch or something like that. Or a centimeter, or whatever it is. And then the other one is the lower the number, the smaller it is. So instead of like 10 inches, 1 inch and 1/10 of an inch is really small. So they have 2 different scales, and on that other scale, whatever the name of that is, it's like around 34. So anyways, when I put it in here, this one of the best ways to clean it up too is, well, to pick it up with like a piece of paper. So I can go like this, pick it up, and it stays on the end of it. Then I pull it off, and it collects it. So now it's clean and easy. Now you can also put it, on here, and as you can see, they're underneath, and you can like totally move it, and it's on there, and you can put your finger all the way through it. And you can see where the magnet goes when it does that. So one fun thing is when you're doing this on the magnet, you can see how it pokes up. If I turn it on the side, you can see how I spin it right in the middle, it kind of goes flat. If I keep spinning it on that middle side, it stays flat. If I put it on the positive and negative, it goes up. So, see if I can get a couple more things on there to make it a little more noticeable, but yeah, so, and then, you know, dump it off, put it in. So that's the, you know, positive side, negative, whatever. I put it flat. You can see how it moves around going like that, and then negative, neutral, negative. Anyways, that's just the fun stuff. And I mean, you can, you know, hold it upside down, and unless you press it really hard, it won't fall off, and it'll stay there forever. That's pretty much it. Then all I did to make it into thermite is the hematite works best because that's rust. At least I think it does. But since they're so closely related, you just put 8 parts weight hematite to 3 parts weight aluminum powder. Just mix them up really good, and then light it. And when you light it, it will then create, you know, thermite, which will melt through stuff. And so I just kind of threw it together just to see if it would work. So, like, to get this much, if you go to the right spot, it will take 5 minutes. Can take 20 minutes because there's a lot of the sand, as you can see, that gets in it. Kind of like, I guess, on one of Grant's old videos when he was making the clay. So this could be part of making the clay process, getting it out. But a lot of the other streams, some of them don't have the hematite, they just have the sand and the clay. So the magnetite comes from usually close to the mountains or rivers. But yeah, anyways, I'm going on too long. Man, your mind, in your head, it makes hematite, which helps, you know, the animals navigate around the world. So that's it. I can show you the magnet. I can show you the experiment I did with that just for the fun of it. But it's kind of fun to put it all together, and the thermite can melt through pretty much everything. But we put a piece of wood under it and had a hard time doing that. But it can melt through an engine block and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, we thought this was a meteorite. Still think it is, because if it has nickel in it, then there's a good chance it's a meteorite. And hematite looks almost the exact same, and most meteorites have magnetite in it. Magnetite and hematite. So the magnetite, I mean, this is a really good specimen of it, but and I thought it was a meteor. Several people said it wasn't, and then one person that's been collecting meteors for 40 years said yes, because he could see the nickel. But it was kind of cool to take a magnet and check different rocks to see which ones had the magnetite in it. So anyways, that's it. And during this production, I had one snake try to eat another snake here. So I'll show you those real quick. If you even get to watch them. So, you know, that's Cody. He's the cool cobra. Yeah, it's Green Mamba. She just shed. And I've got a couple of them in there. There you can kind of see down there's the copperhead. And then we've got a bull snake. And then back in the corner here's a cute little rattlesnake. And this guy kept trying to eat them all. So he's a yellow rat snake. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys have a great day, and I will talk with you later.